I betray the ones I love.
Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to Ranting with Ricardo. I'm introducing a brand new series, and the series is called The Many Wives and Husbands of Soap Opera Characters. And, you know, for the first episode, the first iteration of The Many Wives and Husbands, I'm going to be talking about the husbands of one Erica Kane, the legendary, the incomparable Erica Kane, starting off with her first husband, Jeff Martin. So right now it's Erica Kane Martin. So we're gonna start off with Jeff Martin. Before we get into all of that, if you are new here and you like the content on the channel, always like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people, and just let the people know you're rocking with me. And if even if you don't like the content on the channel, or if you're not feeling it, or you don't like me like that, still like, comment, and subscribe. Show me what your people, because you know what? I might not be your cup of tea, but I might be somebody else's. Everything can be found in the description box below, where to contact me for business, where to find my merch, lip gloss, Amazon KDP books, how to follow me on social media, Amazon wishlist, Amazon storefront, as well as my as a way to donate to the channel. You can find it in the description box down below and on the community tab. With that being said, welcome to the first episode as we dive into Erica Kane's love life. And no, it's like, oh my God, shouldn't you be doing like the boyfriends as well? And it's just like, no, we're focusing on the husbands. We're focusing on the men that became her actual husbands. So let's get into it. Jeff and Erica met in 1970. Okay, they met in the 70s. It was a good old time, baby. I tell you that. Okay, the soap operas were all the rage, honey. But Jeff and Erica met in 1970, and they met after he came to town. After he was worried about his father, Dr. Joe Martin, after his mother passed. They lived in California, and after his mother, Joe's first wife, passed away, Joe basically picked up the rest of the family and moved them back to Pine Valley, where he was from. So Jeff, who was studying to be a doctor as well, decided to come down and check on his father, and that is where him and Erica first crossed paths in 1970. He was only supposed to be in town for a very short time. However, in the short time he thought he was going to be there, him and Erica meet, and baby, he was hooked from the first meeting, okay? He was hooked from the very beginning. Hooked, honey, hooked. He was hooked on him some Erica Kane. Okay, Erica was a young tender back then, but they met. He was hooked. However, his sister Tara and Erica had some run-ins. Okay, they had a little man in common. Okay, and listen, the little man they had in common. Listen, listen. I'm telling you now, he's going to play a part in this, because the man that Tara Martin and Erica Kane had in common, not their, not Jeff. It was another man, and that man also became one of Erica's husbands. But we're not talking about him right now. So Tara knew and understood like Erica and her ways, and just every little thing that she would do, because Erica Kane back in the day was she was a bad girl. Okay, she was the bad girl. She was the outcast. She was a bad girl. She was causing havoc and doing all the stuff way back in the gap. So Tara warned her brother off of Erica, but he didn't listen. He started to fall deep in love with her. She told him to stay away. He said, "Mm-mm." Now he didn't actually say that. I put my own little sauce on it. But Tara basically said, stay away from her. He didn't want to stay away from her. He saw Erica. He liked what he saw. He was hooked from the moment he saw her. So he decided, after falling deep in love with that woman, after knowing her for a couple of months, to transfer his residency to Pine Valley Hospital to finish like everything, like finish his residency and go through the motions. Well, by 1971, baby, Jeff was still chasing after Erica, and after completing his residency, well, not completing. He was trying to complete his residency. So they were dating, he was chasing after her, he was loving on her, but he was completing his residency, and y'all know how stressful that is as somebody is going through the motions to become a full-fledged doctor. So he hardly had time for her. But let me tell you something. He made time because they went on an extended trip, baby. And y'all gonna see it all. They went on an extended trip and came back married. Nobody knew they were married. Nobody knew they were going to get married. They went on an extended holiday weekend trip and came back married. And it's just like, well, hold on now. You done went on a weekend trip, okay, an extended weekend trip, and came back married. Child, we thought y'all was just having like a little getaway to be, comfortable and everything, love on each other. What is this? When I say it was a what is this moment, that's like how the family felt. The family felt like a what is this? And it was his family that was apprehensive about the whole thing. Erica's mother, Mona, she was like she accepted them. She accepted them. She kind of thought, a marriage for Erica would slow Erica down and would kind of bring them closer. His family was apprehensive because of everything like they already knew about Erica, and then the back and forth that had been going on with his sister. It was a lot. So Jeff, because the family was apprehensive, he would move out of the family home that everybody lived in, and he would rent them a flat. A flat is an apartment, for those who don't know. And basically, Erica was very shocked about how small the apartment is because if y'all don't know Miss Erica Kane came from money, okay? Her father was a big Hollywood, I believe, producer and director. So she wasn't used to this like little small life, okay? She was used to money, honey. So first of all, she was shocked by the small apartment. So her way of life had just changed. She's now a doctor's wife. Um, Said doctor husband is still a resident, so he can't really afford anything other than this small apartment. She was shocked and appalled that Jeff wanted her to live in said small apartment. So not only did you marry a doctor who's still in his residency, is not making a big bucks yet, he bought y'all a small apartment. So no, well, he rented y'all a small apartment, and he had the nerve to want you to live in said small apartment. Child, it was a thing, honey. It was a fiasco. On top of that, money is tight. Once again, she doesn't work. At this time, Erica wasn't working. He was in his residency. And if you're like, well, I know the soaps, Erica's working back then. Based off the research I did, it never said that she had been working at this time. So money being tight, caused their marriage to struggle like every marriage. Every marriage tends to have like when money comes into play and you're having money issues, it causes the marriage to struggle a lot because it's just like, well, how are we going to do how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? How are we going to pay for this? And somebody tends to get very annoyed and aggravated and sick of the whole situation. So at this time, marriage is struggling because they got money issues. And as time went on, Erica and Jeff realized they had nothing in common. Now, normally, this is actually a good thing for couples because it keeps everything like real alive, and it keeps you like, oh, okay, well, I can learn something new about you, you can learn something new about me, maybe something new I learned about you is very interesting, and maybe I want to try those things, or it's just like maybe something that I like you may have not known that you liked until you tried it with me. Normally, that's a good thing. However, for them, they had nothing in common. She hardly saw him. He hardly saw her. Um, while her mother accepted the marriage, his family was very apprehensive. Money was tight. They was living in that small apartment. It was a big issue. Okay, big issue. So as their marriage is struggling, Jeff meets Nurse Mary Kennicott, and he started falling for her. As he's falling for her, spending a lot of time with the nurse, Erica is spending a lot of time in New York. And really, it seemed like their marriage was over, for Erica, but not Jeff. And Erica was constantly like taking slash planning trips to New York, and she wanted to become a model. So at this point, she's like really wanting to live the life that she lived with her father, like being in the spotlight and being glamorous and being rich and being famous. And that's not really something Jeff wanted to do. Jeff was very hesitant about this. On top of that, Erica is leaving Pine Valley and going to New York a lot. He's spending a lot of time with Mary. He falling for Mary. So it's just like, y'all already struggling. This is a big issue right now. Like I said, Jeff is very hesitant on her becoming a model, and it's especially due to her agent, Jason Maxwell. He was sleazy, okay? He was real sleazy, okay? Could not be trusted. And at this point, with Erica gone all the time, it left Jeff to spend a lot more time with Mary. So at this point, it's really like the marriage is truly falling apart. They don't spend any time together. They have all these other issues. They have nothing in common. I believe Erica didn't think that Mary was an issue. So, like, that also helped bring Jeff and Mary together because it's just like, you don't see her as an issue because she's not you, and she basically doesn't hold a candle to you in your eyes. And then he don't like Jason, but at this point it's like you need this, like, you Erica feels like she needs Jason to be this big time model. Baby, by 1973, their marriage was on the decline. And I was like, well, 71 and 72, like 72, y'all marriage wasn't on the decline then? But okay. I guess it was like it really hit a slippery slope down in 1973. Marriage was on a decline. Erica was more focused on her career, and she was always talking about Jason in New York and being a model. And Jeff was very like content living in Pine Valley, being a doctor, being around his family, being around the friends he made. He was really happy with his community. Like, he did not want to move on. Like, he left California, came here. Not only did he fall in love with Erica, and that gave him a reason to move there, his family was also there, but he also fell in love with Pine Valley. So it's just like he set roots here. He does not want to leave. And Erica, always on the go, wanting to be out of Pine Valley because in her mind at this time, Pine Valley is very small. She doesn't want to be here. She wants to live in New York. She wants to have the glitz and the glam and all that. This is not what she wants. And at this point, they're like two trains passing in the night, and they are on, different wavelengths. Like, what one wants, the other doesn't want, and none of it actually matches up, which is never good. Never good in a marriage. And they'd be like, well, how would you know? It's just like, I'm not married. I'm not going to pretend and be like, oh, I know everything. But just like watching everyone around me. And it's just like when y'all are not on the same page, when y'all have so many disagreements, when y'all have so many struggles and y'all are not talking conversations, like situations out, like they really weren't communicating. And I'm going to talk about Jeff and Erica. They really weren't communicating like they were supposed to, and there were so many like struggles and oppositions coming in and just different things that it's just like I'm surprised they stayed married as long as they did. But I continue. One day, Erica collapsed at their apartment, and after being rushed to a hospital, they find out that she was suffering from an infection resulting from an abortion. This is when Jeff finds out that Erica had terminated their child without his consent. I believe, and I may be wrong about this, but child, at this point in time in 2023, Roe versus Wade was overturned and returned everything back to the states. But I believe, okay, so I don't think Roe versus Wade um, had been, voted in and everything. It hadn't been decided on in soap opera world. So he still needed to give his consent, if I am correct. So he didn't know this happened, and she, had an abortion because she felt like it would hurt her modeling career. But let me tell you something. This whole abortion thing is for a whole nother story, because I would have to cover this in another series, because something else, like, I'm gonna just tell y'all now, I would have to cover like what happened with this abortion storyline in like another series or another video if y'all want me to, because we would find this storyline picked back up in like the early 2000s, and what we thought happened in 1973 is not what actually happened in 1973. Yes, she had the abortion, but they thought the baby was, or the fetus was no more. That is not the case. And that's why I say we would have to pick this up when it comes to their storyline, because I'm really focusing on them being married and not everything that happened after. But to really explain it, the child Jeff thought that she terminated in 1973, we found out in the early 2000s that is not what actually happened, and that child was very much living well, alive, a functioning, bouncing baby boy, functioning member of society, grown man. So what happened in 73, what we thought, what we seen in the early 2000s was like, that is not exactly what happened. But like I said, that's something we would have to pick up at another time, because that, while it plays out in 73, something completely different happens with them and her abortion. So going back to this, she collapses. They find out she had an abortion. She's suffering from an infection, and obviously she terminated the pregnancy without his consent. In soap opera world, Roe versus Wade hadn't happened yet. Now, Jeff was, he was upset over this, and he turned to Mary, and it took Mona, Erica's mother, to sit him down and to talk about the marriage. And they talked. He decided to give his marriage another go after realizing that Erica wasn't being malicious. He thought that Erica was being malicious and not wanting to settle down, have kids with him, because she did not want that, and she didn't want to give him that, and that she was so focused on her career that is not that she was just being selfish. In reality, during that time, she was trying to make it as an not actress. She was trying to make it as a model. You were still a resident, so you hadn't become an attending yet, and you weren't really making money like that, and neither was she. And it's just like, how are y'all going to raise a baby? So he realized that she wasn't being malicious. However, Erica had other plans. Jeff would show up at the Valley Inn to talk to Erica to try to get, their marriage back on track. However, when he showed up at the Valley Inn, which is the hotel in Pine Valley, he would have to come in and break up a heated conversation between Jason, the agent, and Erica in Jason's hotel room. Now, he got Erica out of there. They left. Jason called Jeff later that night to say, come back over. I want to talk. So when Jeff came back to the hotel, Jason was, gone. He was in the upper room. He had went to meet the Lord. He was not of the living anymore. I had to put my little sauce on it. And baby, the police showed up and arrested poor Jeff, and it's just like, oh, poor Jeff. Listen, he came in and that man was like there in full rigor mortis. He didn't do that, okay? He didn't do that. All right. Now I'm explaining to y'all that one more time. Jeff didn't do that. But the police showed up, he was there with the body, full rigor mortis, Jeff going to jail. Poor Jeff was just trying to do the right thing by his wife, and now he arrested and going to the clanker. Anyway, Jeff's uncle Paul is coming in. He's going to be his defense attorney, and while waiting on trial to see if he is going to go into lockup for unaliving Jason, Erica, his wife, his loving wife, who he was going to give like a marriage another go with, even though, child, I already told you, Jeff was really in love with Nurse Mary at this time. Him and Nurse Mary was real cool. They was kicking it, and it was like a will they or won't they thing, but he was real committed to Erica, so he wasn't going to cheat on that lady, but it was very much giving an emotional affair. So technically speaking, while you weren't physically cheating, you were emotionally cheating. Anyway, while he's awaiting trial, Erica's around town spreading rumors that Jeff was jealous of Jason, that he was always angry with Jason, and just all like these nasty rumors to basically get the heat off of her, put it on Jeff, because in her mind, well, this could help in the media. This could help take any type of suspicion off of me. And if Jeff just so happened to, go to the clanker, you know, I could divorce him. So everybody knows Jeff didn't do it. Everybody, like, for real, we know Jeff didn't do it. So in order to get Jeff exonerated, they needed Erica's testimony, because they realized at the time Jason, was, being unalived, Erica and Jeff, not that they was together the whole time, but the time frame and everything, it was giving, some don't add up, some not right in the buttermilk. However, for Erica's testimony, she wouldn't do it. She would not give her testimony unless money was involved. Because she, listen, I told y'all, Erica was trying to become a model, so she was struggling model, and now her agent is gone, baby, gone. And they didn't have the same money that she did when she had, like, when Mona and her father Eric were together, because Mona up and left that man. So all that little money and everything did not come. And then she's the wife of a doctor who is not making that much because he's still a resident. So money struggles, struggling model, not really having a lot of money when it comes to, family money at the time that she could truly like dip into like that. She basically told Jeff's family, if y'all want me to give my testimony to exonerate him, basically blackmailing the family, I'm going to need some money. Okay, I'm going to need some money. However, they found the evidence to exonerate Jeff. The charges were dropped because we find out that it was Mona who unalived Jeff. But that's not Jeff. Mona who unalived Jason. That's a story for a whole nother segment. And basically, we find the end of Jeff and Erica's marriage um, comes from her scheming and blackmailing during this entire time. Like, honestly, after everything they've gone through their marriage, it was Erica's scheming, plotting, and blackmailing that finally drove them to divorce. And it's just like, that's sad, because ultimately, if things would have been like better if they didn't have all these issues, possibly they would have stayed together. But because it was Erica's young, they're both young. um and no way am I blaming one or the other, but it's just like they are both young. They really didn't know each other. They were just feeling like those, first love, puppy love feelings, and they wanted to be together. And here's the issue in you wanting to be together is that, first of all, you have a lot of people saying don't do it, and you go off and do it. And then when you finally are this married couple, you don't have anything in common. You finally figure that out, which is something y'all should have figured out dating. You don't have a lot of money that is going to satisfy, your wife in the life she wants to live, because she's striving to be something bigger and better that is not in this town that is Pine Valley, which, is by soap opera terms, while it's a community and everybody possibly knows everybody and it's big, it's small in the way we only focus on a certain amount of characters in this show. You don't really spend a lot of time with her because you're in your residency trying to become an attendant, and now you are falling in love with Nurse Mary, which you're now emotionally cheating on your wife. You don't trust her agent, but she feels like she needs said agent so her career can really take off. And she young and she be scheming. And listen, Erica trying to get to the bag, and I can't blame her, but as you young and scheming and trying to get to a bag, you are putting everything else on the back burner, which mean like it to me means that while Jeff and Erica were a good time for soap opera characters being married, and like they had some great storylines, and like some of them were monumental, especially her, having a termination of pregnancy without his consent during that time, which was very monumental for soap operas. It just shows me that if these characters were real in real life, they were never meant to be married. They were never meant to take the walk down the aisle and say I do's and before the Lord and the law and sign a marriage certificate based off of everything they went through. They were probably meant to date for a while to teach each other to be ready for the next person to come in their life. And for Jeff, that was Mary. And for Erica, that would be her next husband that y'all will get very soon. And like I said next husband was the man her and Jeff's sister Tara were always fighting over. But with that being said, if you did enjoy the series, please let not the series because I'm not ending this, but if you enjoyed the first episode of the series, please let me know. Give me your thoughts and what you think. I am going to try to look for to add more things to it if I can find any like clips from the 80s and the 70s if I could find it. If not, don't hold it against me. Charge it to the internet not having what I need and not my heart, because I want to give y'all the very best. But let me know what y'all think about Eric and Jeff's history, what y'all think of their marriage. What did y'all think of this episode as itself? And with that being said, I appreciate everybody watching. If you like the content and you're new here, like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. If you didn't like the content and you're not new here, still like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. Because once again, I may not be your cup of tea, but I'm somebody's out there. And you can find everything in the description box down below and in the community tab. And with that being said, I love everybody, and I will see y'all for the next one.
Mark your calendar for a night to remember. Best Reality TV Star 2K23 Award Show. February the 27th, 2023. Make sure you connect with us at bstv2k23awards.com so that you know when voting is available. Let's get it and let's go.